All right, so we've got this back and forth between Andy Ruiz and Dillian Whyte. Andy Ruiz says, "You didn't want any smoke, so I moved on to the next opponent. Big announcement coming soon." And Dillian Whyte responded by saying, "No smoke, typical coward move from fake Mexican Andy Destroyer, a blob rolling away from a big payday. You're all stomach and no heart, hashtag anytime, anywhere." What's going on here? Well, let's just establish the facts first. Dillian Whyte did make Andy Ruiz at least 2 offers. They were acknowledged by Team Ruiz. The first offer was for a fight in the UK, and any of you can read it here on the Sky Sports website, this particular article. Made an offer to fight Ruiz in the UK, which wasn't enough money. Okay, Ruiz's team basically turned it down. They weren't interested in the UK fight, wasn't enough. The second offer was a lot more money, and that was in the US, which has definitely got their attention. Now, none of us are insiders. None of us know why, this fight apparently isn't happening, although it could all be some elaborate negotiation ploy. But if this fight isn't happening, well, we have to look at the way Andy Ruiz behaved in the lead up to the AJ rematch, because it took a long time to get that fight done. Team Ruiz were pulling all types of shenanigans to the point where Eddie Hearn actually had to threaten legal action. And that's when they had a contract in place, a legally binding contract, which meant that Ruiz had to fight AJ again. But they still dug their heels in and they still tried to mess Matchroom around. So with this Dillian Whyte fight, there's no contract in place. Andy Ruiz is not legally obligated to fight Dillian Whyte. I'm sure Al Heyman has his own plans for Andy Ruiz. So when Dillian Whyte comes and says, "Okay, I want to fight you," and starts making offers, Andy Ruiz might be being difficult again, playing hardball again, trying to get the maximum money again. Maybe he thinks that Eddie Hearn is just a bottomless pit of money. And if he acts, difficult, he can just get more and more and more and more money out of him. That DAZN money, right? Maybe that's what Andy Ruiz is thinking. Maybe he's got similar kind of people advising him to the people who advised Luis Ortiz to turn the AJ fight down, saying that he got lowballed when they offered him $7 million. Crazy. So who knows? At the end of the day, I'm not behind the scenes. I don't know what's going on here, but perhaps Team Whyte and, Eddie Hearn thought, okay, if Ruiz is going to mess around, similar situation to what happened in the lead up to the AJ rematch, let's forget about Ruiz for now. Go and fight Povetkin because it's an in-house fight. It's easily made. There's no messing about. If we get through that, we can revisit the Andy Ruiz fight later on in the year, which is essentially what Eddie Hearn has said in terms of revisiting the Ruiz fight later on in the year. But that's assuming he gets past Povetkin. Povetkin is 40 or 41 years old. He's not the fighter, the fighter he was a couple years ago, but he's still dangerous. He still has that technique. He still has a lot of experience. He still keeps himself in good shape. So that's no foregone conclusion for Dillian Whyte. I do think he'll probably be the favorite going in, but it wouldn't be a monumental upset if Alexander Povetkin pulled it off. Although Dillian Whyte has had a lot of practice against these types of fighters over the past few years. He's fought Derek Chisora. He's fought Oscar Rivas. Very similar styles to Povetkin. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. It's all back and forth between the two. The only thing we know for certain is that Dillian Whyte did make Andy Ruiz a couple offers. What happened after that, we can only speculate on. Ruiz claims Whyte ducked him. Whyte claims Ruiz ducked him. Who knows? All I do know is that why would you make 2 different offers? With Sky money, first of all, and then with DAZN money, if you had no intention of fighting. It just seems like a little bit of a elaborate, thing to do if you've got no intention of fighting the guy. I suspect, don't know for certain, but I suspect Ruiz just dug his heels in and wanted more and more money. Because we know that the UK offer was turned down by Ruiz. Not enough money. So the American offer, okay, it's nice money. We're interested, but can you give us a bit more? Can you maybe give us a rematch clause? Because let's be real. Andy Ruiz is coming off a loss. If he was to lose 2 on the spin, it's going to be tough for Andy Ruiz to come back from that. I'm sure he knows that. I'm sure Al Heyman knows that. And obviously, Ruiz is in a transitionary period at the moment. He's looking for a new trainer. So maybe the schedule that Dillian Whyte is on, saying he wants to fight Ruiz whenever it is in April, maybe that's not good for Ruiz right now. Maybe he needs to find a trainer who he's going to be comfortable with and then revisit the Dillian Whyte situation. Here's one thing I'll tell you. There is absolutely no way on God's green earth that Andy Ruiz is frightened of Dillian Whyte. And there's also no way on God's green earth that Dillian Whyte is afraid of Andy Ruiz. Dillian Whyte has been chasing down a Deontay Wilder fight for years. He's not afraid of Wilder, but yet you think he's afraid of Andy Ruiz. Nonsense. There's nothing in Dillian Whyte's career which indicates that this is a guy who is easily scared. Same thing for Andy Ruiz. He's not an easily scared guy. Okay? These are both warriors who have a ton of heart. But, sometimes the logistics of a situation, sometimes with a guy like Andy Ruiz coming off a loss, trying to rebound, trying to get his head together, it might not be the right time for him. Yeah. Or it could be some shenanigans from PBC. As I say, Al Heyman likes to try and keep things in-house a lot of the time. Andy Ruiz's profile was a lot higher now than it was when he fought AJ first time. So whereby Ruiz wasn't really much of a commodity to Al Heyman prior to June 1st, 2019, he was willing to, give him over to Matchroom for a fight, didn't really care about him so much. Now he's become a commodity. He's like, okay, we need to be a bit more careful with Andy. That also could be going on. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. It's happening. I'm out.